Hey everyone, thanks for watching. This video today that I'm showing is the first video I'm posting of me actually interacting with one of my students, and this student is a special student to me. This is my uncle. My first time ever bringing a family member into the range and training with them. I had a blast with him. He's no stranger to guns. He has my grandfather's guns, and he's from a different era, and it's interesting to see that, even though he has my grandfather's revolver and the I believe it's a rifle or a shotgun that he has, but he's used to the old revolver era where things were a little different back then. Now everything's semi-auto, and this is his first time ever shooting a semi-auto. But you're going to see in videos that I'm going to do later on, you're going to see some of the students doing kind of the same thing. It doesn't matter if you're from a previous era, because he grew up, I believe, in the 60s and 70s. I can't remember the exact year he was born, but I know, that era, a lot of people were gripping guns different, and the mindset was different. So let's go through this, and then I'll check some of the other videos out of me interacting with some of my students that are younger and are from a different era. And you're going to see a lot of similarities and things that they do as well. So let's get into it. He actually did a pretty decent job. All right, let's get into it here. All right, this is at Delta Arsenal out of Wallingford, Connecticut. I'm going to stop here because, hold up, let me, all right. What you saw him doing, this is the firearm we were using. This is a FN 502. Let me show that it's clear. All right. All right, so I don't want anyone thinking that I'm, messing around with a loaded firearm here. This is clear. What you saw him doing here with the, you're going to see it quite a bit in the video. He's new. Never put a magazine in a semi-auto before. All right, what you see him doing there, this is very important. It looks crazy in the video, but it's important that students learn this, and I hope a lot of you out there start doing this as well. People at the gun range, for some reason, whenever they need to look at different parts of the gun, they start doing all of this, and you'll see people pointing guns and anywhere but down the range. I've been in ranges, and I'm sure a lot of you have, where you've seen guns pointed, right, left, pointed, behind you. I mean, you'll see people doing all types of stuff with their gun just so they can look at it. What I show my students and what you saw him doing, it looks crazy, but I'm going to explain what he was doing. First, it was his first time putting a magazine in, and students have done this a lot, put it in backwards, okay? That's nothing against him. I've seen so many students do it. You saw him put the magazine in, right? And when you saw him going like this, like studying, he's really studying how he's, his grip and everything. It's like I said, this is his first time using a semi-auto. But when you saw him with the gun and he was doing this, the reason that I show students this is so that when they need to look at something, they're not pointing the firearm at themselves, which you see in the range a lot, people doing these crazy things. So I teach students to rotate. You want to see the right side of the gun, just rotate. You want to see the left side, just rotate. The top, you bring it in closer to where you can see, and you extend your arm out so you can see. You don't need to do all this crazy stuff. So that's what you saw him doing, rotating. That's something that I teach all my students, and I wish more trainers would show students that, because I don't see enough quote-unquote trained shooters in the range, because I don't know how skilled some people are when they're in there, but you see so many crazy things. That's one of them, and that's what you saw him doing. He was just checking his grip, looking at the gun. He's not used to a semi-auto, but he's getting used to it. All right.
Alright, press out.
Now you see the teacup grip. That's
Keep your
from
grip right. Keep your finger off the trigger. Finger
back in
off
the
the trigger.
day, that popular teacup grip. The finger being on the trigger and off the trigger. I gotta keep telling them that. So many students, when they're new, they do that. When they're trying to adjust their grip, or they're trying to do something, they start to relax their finger, and this starts to happen. I've seen students where their thumb, because they have real big hands, their thumb actually extends all the way. Let me bring it in a little closer. Their thumb will go into the trigger guard and almost hit the trigger. So me constantly saying keep your finger off the trigger, finger off the trigger, that's something that I always tell students, obviously other instructors as well. But it's a normal thing for new students to do, because they're not used to shooting. He has firearms, but he hasn't been in the range in a while, so there's things that he just needs to work on. That's all. And again, all students have done it. I've done it.
Until you're ready to shoot. Take it off safe. Alright, finger on the trigger and start shooting.
All right, he's getting his grip right, racking the slide. All right, that happens a lot. Students forget to rack the slide. They're ready to shoot. There you go. I know he's holding it like this. I know, that's the more so down here. You'll notice students will start with the perfect grip. They'll have that nice grip. As soon as they start shooting, the recoil, this is a 22, the recoil isn't bad on the 22, but a higher recoil, a higher caliber, like a 9 mil or something, possibly even a 380, the recoil will cause students to readjust their hand, and they'll have a perfect grip from the start, and then eventually they'll start doing this. So what you're seeing here, and his hands not being high up on the beaver tail, there's a lot of students that do that. But I'm having a blast with my uncle, because he's he's a good listener, and we continue to shoot, and he corrected a lot of this stuff. Also notice the leaning back. I got other videos. Every student pretty much does. Not every student.
Keep your finger off the trigger. Alright, drop the slide. Keep your finger off the trigger. Keep your finger off the trigger. There you go.
Okay. So many students, when they have their stance, they do this, and let me see if I can. They're doing this. They're leaning back because they don't want this going off in their face. They don't understand that nothing's gonna happen, but it's just a natural reaction to move this further out that way, away from their face. So they're doing a lot of this. That's normal. I have other videos. So many students have done that. That's just a training thing. All right. Also, you're gonna see in other videos, and this one, you see him doing it. Whenever a student needs to take the firearm off safe, put it on fire, and put it back on safe. For me, this is real easy. Hitting the magazine release, all of that is real easy for me. But a new student isn't used to using their thumb like this, so they'll wind up doing, like taking it off safe. But they have to, they're doing this because they forget that their finger has to stay here, so they'll adjust their hand, especially when they have to hit the magazine release. You'll see them do this, and it's a normal thing. I'm always watching for it. That's why I'm always yelling, keep your finger off the trigger. I don't fault new students for it. Me as an instructor, I have to keep an eye on that. If a student keeps doing it over and over again, that's one thing. My uncle didn't do that. I haven't had a student yet do that, but I'm just saying, this is I'm showing all this stuff because this is normal for a shooter that is not used to shooting a semi-auto. So many people have done it. I've even seen people that, believe it or not, I hate to say it, but people that came out of the military doing stuff like this. It shocks me too. All right, let's go.
Drop the hammer. One hand, one hand.
Yeah, see?
Drop the hammer. One
You
hand.
see how he adjusted his finger, put his finger on there? A lot of people aren't used to doing everything with one hand. He was doing a lot of stuff with two hands, which a lot of people do. I think I had more students take the firearm off safe with two hands than I have to tell them try it with one hand. So just so I could get them used to trying it with one hand. And as soon as they do that, again, they're readjusting their grip to make it easier, because different people, their hands are not all the same. So you're going to see people readjusting their hand for magazine release and the taking it off safe. All right, so I just want to make sure that people understand that when they're watching this, that is normal for a new shooter on a semi-auto.
One hand.
His finger actually isn't.
Put it back on safe. All right, place it down.
All right, let me
Back on safe. Drop the hammer. One hand, one hand.
Yeah, I'll use two hands. His finger went on the trigger because what he has to do is this. All right. This is the hammer's back. He has to drop the hammer. So he had to take it off safe. Hold down the hammer, and you saw his finger go on the trigger to slowly drop the hammer. That's what he was doing. So his finger had to go on the trigger that time. Because I know people in the comment section, yo, his finger's on the trigger to drop the hammer. Once you take it off safe of the FN 502 or any semi-auto or a revolver, you got to put your finger on the trigger, hold the hammer down, press the trigger, and slowly bring it up. So that's what you saw him doing there.
Sure the hammer goes all the way up. Put it back on safe. All right, place it down. Let's see what you do.
All right. Not going to show anything other than that. This is what he did, and that's not bad. All right? That's not bad at all for a new shooter. Again, he was already shooting prior to this and on this day, actually. So I think this is probably the second or third target we put up or something like that. I can't remember. But it's not bad. I can't remember how far out it was, maybe 10 feet or so. These sights on this gun are high because you can put a red dot on here. And I've even been guilty of doing this where you, hold on just a minute, yeah. All right, where because these sights are high, you tend to aim a little high. So you normally would see people shooting above that bullseye. All right. Some people have nice groupings. This grouping actually isn't bad. His are more in the center of the target, where a lot of other people have shot high above the target. I don't know if he did that the first time he fired on this day. I know when I first shot this, my shots were kind of high because this was the first time I ever fired a gun that was optics ready. So that's not bad shooting right there. I just wanted to post this because I like to explain to other students what you'll be going through when you come to me, and also when you're not a new shooter, but when you're an experienced shooter, different things that I show my students that other instructors may not show you, like the rotating. Stop trying to do all of this, and you don't need to do that. Just downrange. The camera is downrange. Just this. I can see the right. I can see the left. Bring it in where I can see. I can see the top. You know, if I need to look at the base plate of my magazine, I can do all of that. There's no reason in the range to aim your muzzle anywhere other than downrange to look at your firearm. No reason whatsoever. You should not be doing that. All right. So I just wanted to show that video, and I hope you all like it. Leave a comment, and I'll talk to you guys later. And check my other videos out, because I'm going to have some videos of other students, and you'll see some similarities to what my uncle was doing. But this was like a great day for me, because I just enjoyed, you know, having my uncle there. You know, I grew up, you know, listening to him and him raising me, and now here I am showing him some stuff. So it was cool for me. All right. Talk to you guys later. Subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.